Hey guys, Mark here from Ratings.com, and today we'll be comparing the SteelSeries Arctis 9X to the Arctis 7 2019 edition. SteelSeries makes great gaming headsets that typically work best with your PC and PS4. There are some roundabout ways to get them working on your Xbox One, but it's often a hassle and only has partial support. However, the Arctis 9X, being specifically made for the Xbox, shouldn't have this issue. So how did this stack up to the rest of the series? Also, we've tested the 9X with the Microsoft wireless adapter on PC, since we cannot plug our Xbox One directly into our test bench for now, but we expect similar results since the adapter uses the same wireless technology as the Xbox controllers. With that being said, in this video we'll be comparing the design, sound quality, microphone, isolation, leakage, active features, and connectivity options to see if there are any major differences apart from console support, since this may be especially important if you also game on PC or use them with your phone. But as always, let's start with what's in the box. So for the 9X, you don't get much: a micro USB to USB cable to access the app on your PC and also to charge the headphones, the manual, the 9X headset. However, as mentioned, we also had to get the Microsoft wireless adapter so we could actually test it out on our test bench PC, but it is sold separately, so it won't be included in the box. As for the Arctis 7, you get a USB transmitter dongle, a USB cable, a proprietary 1.8 TRRS mobile audio cable that will work with your phone, the manuals, and the Arctis 7 headset. And that's it. Now let's get the boxes out of the way and compare the design. For the build quality, there's essentially no difference between the Arctis 9X and the Arctis 7. They both have the same design with the metal frame and the ski goggle-like headband that the rest of the Arctis series has. However, unlike the lower-end Arctis 3 and Arctis 5, the elastic band goes around the frame instead of having hooks on the inside of the headband, which should last a little bit longer. The ear cups, the padding, and the retractable mic all look practically identical, and both the Arctis 9X and the Arctis 7 do not have removable backplates, unlike the higher-end Arctis Pro, Pro Game DAC, and Pro Wireless. Also, no RGB lighting, which will be a little disappointing for some since the Arctis 5 has it, but it does save a little bit on battery life, which is nice. The yokes are also pretty much identical, which is the weakest part of the Arctis design overall, but the 9X and the Arctis 7 still feel like well-built and sturdy gaming headsets that should last you a while. As for comfort, here too there's no difference between the two models. They have the same type of pads on both headsets, and the ear cups are the same size, so there won't be any significant differences when gaming on PC or on either consoles. The fit of the Arctis lineup, however, is not for everyone. Since the metal frame itself does not expand, the only way to adjust the fit is with the elastic band, and there's not much room or positions to set the band to for a better fit on your head. This tends to make both headsets feel a little tight on the head, especially for those with bigger head sizes. They won't be the most comfortable headphones to wear for very long gaming sessions, but if they fit you well, then the soft, decently breathable fabric of the pads and the relatively large opening of the ear cups are good enough for most. Also, the mic being very malleable does come in handy for the overall ergonomics and comfort of the headset. Lastly, for the control scheme, for gaming, both headphones are about the same with slight aesthetic and design differences that shouldn't matter much. But for casual use, the 9X are a lot better, since one of the key differences between the 9X and the Arctis 7 is that the 9X are also Bluetooth headphones. At the bottom of the right ear cup, you have a Bluetooth pairing button that also doubles as a multifunction play, pause, and management control when paired to your phone. So 2 presses skips tracks and 3 presses rewinds, like most Bluetooth headsets. This makes them a lot better for casual use than the Arctis 7. However, for gaming, they're about the same with very slight tweaks and design differences. They both have their power button on the bottom of the right cup, but for the 9X, the volume controls and the mic mute is also on the right cup instead of the left like the rest of the series. The mic mute button is slightly larger and easier to use than that of the Arctis 7, but not by much. And the chat mix dial is also flipped. So for the 9X, it's on the left and near the top of the ear cup, and on the Arctis 7, it's on the right and closer to the bottom. It doesn't make a big difference since you get used to the setup rather quickly. The only issue would be if you have other Arctis headsets and often switch between them and the 9X. Overall, the buttons are easy to use, and they provide good tactile feedback for both headsets, making them some of the easiest gaming headphones to use for most. In short, design-wise, the Arctis 9X seemed to be a copy of the Arctis 7 2019 edition, but for Xbox One. They have the same build quality, comfort, and overall button design, but the 9X being Bluetooth ready makes them a bit more practical for casual use with your phone. However, the tight headband of the SteelSeries design in general won't be for everyone. And that's it for the design. Now let's compare the sound quality, isolation, leakage, and microphone with Sam.
Both the Arctis 9X and the Arctis 7 are very good and accurate sounding headphones with a similar sound profile. However, we found the Arctis 9X to lack a bit of sub-bass, and our Arctis 7 test unit had slightly mismatched drivers. But before discussing their sound in more detail, let's listen to a recording we have made with these headphones so you can get an idea about how their sound compares for yourself. Just keep in mind that this is a relative comparison and not an absolute one. So it is good for seeing which headphone has more bass or treble, for example, but you won't be able to judge the actual sound profile. And if you get one of these headphones and listen to the same track that we've used here, you most likely won't hear the same thing. Here we have the frequency response of the Arctis 9X on the left and the Arctis 7 on the right. And as you can see, they both lack a bit of thump and rumble in the sub-bass region, but this is more pronounced on the Arctis 9X. The good news here is that lack of sub-bass is not very noticeable on headphones, and most audio content doesn't have much sub-bass anyway. The mid-bass region, which is important for the body and punch of kick drums and bass instruments, is reproduced accurately by both headphones. But high bass is overemphasized by as much as 3 dB. This makes the overall sound a little boomy and muddy. The mid-range on the Arctis 9X is nearly flawless, and the Arctis 7 doesn't perform too bad either. So they will reproduce vocals and lead instruments accurately. But as you can see, we measured a bit of mismatch between the drivers of our test units, especially on the Arctis 7. This will have a negative effect on the imaging of these headphones, but this could be unique to our test unit, and the one you buy may or may not have this issue. These headphones perform similarly in the treble range too, and they do a pretty good job. So cymbals and other high-frequency sounds will be reproduced accurately, but some people may find the S and T sounds a little bit too sharp on these headphones. In terms of frequency response consistency, they seem to be quite sensitive to positioning, especially the Arctis 9X, and their bass and treble delivery can significantly vary across users depending on the shape and size of their head and whether they wear glasses. On the upside, these headphones come with a decent EQ, so you should be able to tune the sound to your liking and to compensate for these variations. Now for isolation and leakage, we have also recorded the comparison, which we're going to play now. First up is isolation. The isolation performance of these headphones is very similar and typical of closed back over-ear headphones that don't have active noise cancelling. So they don't provide any isolation in the bass range, meaning they won't block the rumbling noises like the sound of a truck outside. In the mid-range, they do an average job, and they can reduce outside chatter a little bit, but may not be enough for loud places. But you can always mask the noise by increasing the volume of your headphones a little bit. The Arctis 9X doesn't perform as well in the treble range, which could explain their lack of sub-bass in their sound, since sub-bass can be affected by poor seal and isolation. Overall, they both perform decently in the treble range, so you don't need to worry about hearing subtle high-frequency noises like the sound of a fan through these headphones. Now, let's listen to the leakage recording. Again, the leakage profile of these headphones is nearly identical, and neither of these headphones leak much in the bass and the treble ranges. But they do leak noticeably in the mid-range. So you don't need to worry about the leakage at moderate volumes, but if you don't want to disturb anyone around you, make sure you're not blasting the headphones. Since both of these headphones are made for gaming, we are going to discuss their microphone quality as well. And like before, we have prepared a couple of recordings for you to listen to. First, let's listen to a recording done in a quiet environment. This is a Ratings.com microphone test. This recording was made with the microphone of the headphones while placed on our dummy head, with my voice being played through the dummy head's mouth and noise being played through a speaker about 1 meter away. This is a Ratings.com microphone test. This recording was made with the microphone of the headphones while placed on our dummy head, with my voice being played through the dummy head's mouth and noise being played through a speaker about 1 meter away. This is a Ratings.com microphone test. This recording was made with the microphone of the headphones while placed on our dummy head, with my voice being played through the dummy head's mouth and noise being played through a speaker about 1 meter away. As you probably heard, both the Arctis 9X and the Arctis 7 are great at recording speech. The response is definitely on the bright side, meaning they won't sound perfectly neutral, but this may actually help speech to cut through the game audio better. The Arctis 9X lacks some bass below 100 Hz, but this won't matter much since human voice generally doesn't go that low, so speech will sound still full-bodied on them. Their flat mid-range means speech will be quite natural on them and won't sound too thin or too thick. The treble range of these microphones, however, is overemphasized by as much as 8 dB. So although this is good for cutting through other sounds, it may be too harsh or bright for some. I would like to point out that we measured the microphone of the 9X with the Microsoft wireless adapter, which is sold separately, and this gave them a bit more extension in the treble range, making their sound a bit more open and airy. The Arctis 7 was measured using their stock wireless transmitter, which seems to cut off at around 6.5 kHz. This is still significantly higher than the 3.5 kHz cutoff point of regular Bluetooth microphones, but slightly less than the 10 kHz limit of the Arctis 9X. Now, let's listen to another recording to see how these microphones handle a noisy situation. This is a Ratings.com microphone test. This is for you to see if you could hear me in a noisy environment. This recording was made with the microphone of the headphones while placed on our dummy head, with my voice being played through the dummy head's mouth and noise being played through a speaker about 1 meter away. This is a Ratings.com microphone test. This is for you to see if you could hear me in a noisy environment. This recording was made with the microphone of the headphones while placed on our dummy head, with my voice being played through the dummy head's mouth and noise being played through a speaker about 1 meter away. This is a Ratings.com microphone test. This is for you to see if you could hear me in a noisy environment. This recording was made with the microphone of the headphones while placed on our dummy head, with my voice being played through the dummy head's mouth and noise being played through a speaker about 1 meter away. Again, both of these headphones performed nearly identically and achieved a speech-to-noise ratio of about 34 dB, which is excellent. This means they won't have any trouble separating speech from background noise, even in very loud environments, and should be able to handle all usage scenarios. Now let's go back to Mark for the active features.
For the active features, starting with the wireless range, the Arctis 7 with the dedicated transmitter included in the box did better than the Arctis 9X with the wireless adapter. The Arctis 7 went up to 55 feet when obstructed compared to the 9X 41 feet. The Arctis 7 also did much better in direct line of sight, going all the way up to 120 feet compared to 70 feet. Fortunately, this wouldn't matter too much when gaming in front of your TV or PC, although the 9X may not be the ideal option for walking around your house listening to music. On the upside, the 9X are Bluetooth compatible, which means if you pair them to your phone or PC via Bluetooth, they have a much better range than the wireless adapter or the Arctis 7 with the wireless transmitter at 55 feet when obstructed and 140 feet in direct line of sight. So if you do want to listen to music and walk around your home, you can use them that way. As for latency, the Arctis 7 did much better than the Arctis 9X. The Arctis 7 had 17 milliseconds of latency with the dedicated wireless transmitter, which is a lot better than the Arctis 9X at 77 milliseconds with the wireless adapter, and much better than on Bluetooth, which is expected. Unfortunately, since we couldn't plug the Xbox directly into our test bench for latency, we used the Microsoft wireless adapter, which should give us an idea of the latency on PC, but may not be perfectly representative of the Xbox latency. On the upside, we tried them while playing CSGO, and the 77 milliseconds wasn't too noticeable overall. We also expect a slightly better performance on the Xbox. For battery life, the Arctis 9X lasts longer, but are a bit worse overall since they don't have an auto-off timer like the Arctis 7. The Arctis 9X lasted about 28 hours compared to the Arctis 7, 25 hours. They should both be more than enough for most gaming marathons, but thanks to the Arctis 7 auto-off timer that you can control via the app, they generally last a bit longer overall. On the upside, the 9X charged much faster at 2.4 hours compared to the Arctis 7 3.3, which is convenient since it puts them in the range of most Bluetooth headsets. For their software support, both headsets work with the SteelSeries engine, but the Arctis 7 has a much more in-depth implementation with more customization options and features. The 9X do not have support for the app over the wireless adapter. You have to plug them in using the cable, but even then, they will not work wired with your PC since the connection is only to access the app and the EQ modes. On the upsides, the EQ modes hold when switching back to your Xbox, and you can set the Bluetooth connection to be on by default when powering on the headsets. You also get a mic volume slider and side tone preset, but that's it. So no surround sound features, stereo profiles, power options, bass and dialogue enhancements, or dynamic range compressions that you get with the Arctis 7. Overall, the apps feel slightly lacking on the 9X when compared to the other headsets in the series. Lastly, for the connection options, and here the Arctis 7 have a bit more versatility, especially for gaming than the 9X. The Arctis 7 come with a dedicated transmitter that has a USB input, a line in and a line out. This makes them a bit more suitable for your home theater setup since you can easily get an aux cable and wirelessly transmit any audio to your headset, although the mic will not work this way. On the upside, when used via USB, they will have mic and audio support for your PC and PS4, but only audio support on the Xbox. You can also use them wired with the mobile adapter and plug them into your console controllers. That way you will have mic and audio support for both your consoles, your PC, and your phone. The 9X, on the other hand, connect to the Xbox via the proprietary wireless connection, like the controllers, which is why we had to get the wireless adapter for our PC. The 9X also have an audio jack, but unfortunately it's not a mobile adapter like the Arctis 7, so you won't have any mic support when plugging them in directly into the controllers. On the upside, they're compatible with Bluetooth devices, so you can stream audio from your phone and even answer calls while gaming on your Xbox, which is pretty convenient. So overall, which headset should you get? Well, if your primary gaming device is the Xbox One, then the 9X will be the best fit since they're made for it and are a bit more convenient to use wirelessly with your Xbox. They will connect seamlessly like the Xbox controllers and also have Bluetooth support. If you often use your headsets with your phone, the wireless design will be a bit more practical than using the mobile cable adapter of the Arctis 7. However, for most, the versatility of the Arctis 7 and their cheaper price point makes them a better value, especially if you primarily game on your PC or PS4. They both have the same great design and ease of use, but the Arctis 7 will have audio and mic support when wired to both the PS4 and Xbox controllers and also your phone. They also have a more practical wireless transmitter that comes included in the box and a more in-depth implementation of the SteelSeries engine that feels lacking on the 9X. Most Xbox owners will be happy with the 9X, and the Bluetooth capability is great for casual use, answering calls, and streaming audio from another source while connected to your Xbox. But in general, the Arctis 7 are the slightly better choice. And that's pretty much it. You can check out all our measurements on our website, and if you like this video, subscribe to our channel or become an insider. Also, we're always looking for great people to join our team in Montreal, so if you want to help people find the best products for their needs, have a look at our careers page on our website. Thank you for watching. See you next time.